Hey y'all, hey. Welcome back to And That's My Take. I'm your host, Myrhanda McDaniels, and I cannot wait to partake in this experience with you. Whether you are new to our channel or you're already a part of our OBU tribe, our releases are tailor-made with you in mind. Our goal is to share real life, tangible moments that we've endured in our personal journeys with transparency in hopes that something we've shared can help you in living through whatever stage of your journey you are in, with beneficial strategies that you can add to your toolkit. Before we delve into today's episode, let's take a quick recap at our previous episodes to see how we in fact got here. Is anyone else tired of being quiet? I've stood in the background for years, awaiting the turn for my voice to be heard. Eager to lend a helping hand in environments where I thought I had allies. I couldn't see the traps many placed in my path as a means of destruction. With every step, I almost succumbed to the enemy's tactics of defeat. It is my duty, it is my obligation to be an advocate for those that I teach. But what happens when you're put in a situation where you don't have the necessary supports to provide for your students? What happens when you see that there's inequities that are being thrown in your face, and when you bring those to the light, your character is being assassinated? And in the past, my voice was like this. I didn't say not a word because I looked at the scripture that says, "Vengeance is mine." So I started to take the decal off of the door, and here come the principal. "Hi, Miss McDaniels." And I said, "Hello." And she's like, "You can't be in the building." In addition to that, y'all, this is my other question. Y'all done split up my classes. Okay. So you was fussing at me about being there yesterday when I came to clean out my classroom. But you split up my classes. So if I did come today, like if I hadn't already planned to not be there, what would I have been doing? Who would I have been teaching? Wow, this tea is in fact hot. Not only did we hear about the cyclical nature of experiences I endured, but we also learned and looked at how I was able to live through these challenges with God as my saving grace. Now hold on to that point because it will be reintroduced shortly. I'm ready to provide my vibe check, but before I do, let's take a moment to partake in our flash forward highlight. Hey y'all, hey, doing some big things. I am on my way to drop off this laptop and charger to the school system that don't no longer want me there. Okay, they're kicking me out. You know, today is the big day. Resignation day. It's the party. Today is officially my last day with this school system, and I am returning their property so that they don't had to call me for nothing. All right, y'all, I gotta go because I'm in the traffic, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not supposed to be on the phone or whatever. All right, now. Bye-bye. Hey, y'all. Hey, I have officially dropped off my laptop and technology equipment. So I am free. No more chains holding me. You hear what I say? And I got to be careful because I don't want you to see what's in the background. Then you're going to try to figure out and be nosy where the school district is. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm so ecstatic about what God is manifesting next. I'm finna shout. I'm finna do I'm not, one of those shouters in the church that be doing all the dancing and running around. I really actually shout and scream. So I don't want y'all hearing me yelling and shouting and screaming. So I'm gonna get off this here device so that I can actually drive to my destination. You understand what I'm saying? And it's up from here. All right, y'all. Now don't judge me. I know I have on a robe right now, and the reason is because for the vibe check today, I want y'all to know that I am calm, cool, comfortable, and collected. Okay. Okay. So that's why I got on my robe. All right. Let's delve into today's episode. Prior to me arriving to my job on resignation day, I took the principal supervisor's advice. I sent an email to schedule an appointment so that I can retrieve the remainder of my items. So on the last day, November 7th, what I did was I hadn't received an email response yet. So I said, let me just go on ahead to the job and get my items early. So that's what I did. I showed up in ample time to be able to clear out the classroom. Do you know that when I went to turn in my keys to the administrative secretary, the assistant principal walks to the doorway of the administrative assistant's office and she makes a statement to say, "Hey, I got your email and I responded to it. You can come back to retrieve your things at 3 o'clock." I'm already here right now. I'm turning in my keys. It's in the AM. This is like 7:45-ish, right before the kids come to school. And you mean to tell me that as I'm turning in my keys and I will no longer have access to coming into the building, that I can come back at 3 p.m. after I'm already here right now to get the remainder of my things? So I was happy to be like, they're already in my car. I already got my belongings. And so after that, I got out of there and then I went ahead to the district office and turned in my technology. Looking for simplistic, effective skincare, minimalist yet beautiful lipsticks and glosses? Check out esteemmatters.com. We also have beard care for men, great stocking stuffers and gifts for this season and beyond. Let's rewind and then press play. How did we get here? How did we even get to a place where the conversation about resigning even came into play? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of the backstory. So, at the end of the 2024-2025 school year, remember, I was teaching pre-K 3. It just so happened that pre-K 3 was being removed from all of the schools, or at least most of the schools in this particular county. Now, I could have stepped in to teach pre-K 4, but I'm already spilling tea that is hotter than the presses right now. And so, talking about all of the challenges that was in that direction is like going off course. So we're going to stay focused here because that's a whole nother lane that we're not even going to go in right now. So the decision was made for me to teach fifth grade. I never wanted to teach fifth grade. Okay. Never wanted to do that. The principal came to me and we had this conversation. And so that was the decision that was made at the end of the 2024-2025 school year. That when I step into the next school year, I would be teaching this particular grade level. Guess what though? I had something else up my sleeve. And I'm going to tell you what, this is one of the reasons why I was just, not necessarily in agreement with the conversation that I had with the principal, but I was just like, okay, whatever you say, whatever. So the plan that I had was to apply for other opportunities, and I had already started the process applying for other opportunities. And I saw myself not coming back to the school at all because I was interviewing and putting in applications for other opportunities. Here is the scoop. Okay, so one of the positions that I applied for was at another school still in this particular county, and I got some deets, y'all. So the position they say was mine. Okay, but what had happened was the person who actually got the position that I applied for was not qualified. So much so that when their application was sent to HR, it was flagged because they were not qualified for the position. But what the principal did that was at this particular school, she wanted to hire in-house for the position. So the person winded up being, at first they were the administrative secretary there. And instead of hiring me, a person who was qualified for the position, she chose to hire someone that was in-house. And we already know that there's a phrase and a quote that we've heard years and times again. It's not what you know, but who you know. And in this case, we see what happened. And I've heard from elders before, and my parents have said it time and time again, you don't leave one job until you secure another one. But for some people, that just doesn't work. Like, I've tried that on more than one occasion. And in this season, like, I tried it. Like, I put in so many applications, y'all. It's not even funny. I even put in dance applications because I have a background in dance education. So I'm like, even that didn't, pop off for me. So, oh my goodness. I tried my best to do all of what I could do on my end to ensure that I did not step into this fifth grade position. And it didn't happen. All of the doors closed in my face. But still, God is my saving grace, okay? That is always going to be the nucleus of how I move and why I move, whatever God purposed me to do. So He allowed these doors to close in my face, and I had to embrace it. But my desire was not to go back to this school at all for the 2025-2026 school year. So once I settled into my position, I repeatedly asked for aid and assistance, and I could see immediately that there were voids that needed to be filled, and none of these voids were filled to aid in my request. There was no resolve. As the equity lead, I vocalized many of the inequities that I experienced and that I saw. And with all of, my concerns being stated, whether I said it verbally or whether I stated it via email, there was still no resolve. And I will tell you, in all of the years that I have been working in education, and in all of the years that in general that I've been working, that I have been extremely overwhelmed. My stress levels were extremely high. This is the first time that I called out consistently. It went from me calling out one day to calling out back to back to calling out almost 2 weeks, prior to me making the exit from the school itself. And I've never done that before. Like, I was leaving meetings early, like I was tuning out, like it was just information overload. And again, when I expressed how overwhelmed I was, nobody cared. There are 5 issues, major issues, in my opinion, that stand out that persuaded my reasoning for wanting to transition. One, we know as being lack of support. Two, no resolve for the additional guidance that I was requesting to receive. And three, making me the teacher of record for a content area that I was not familiar with or comfortable with. For the disregard for my mental health and the rapid challenges that were happening as I was taking in all of this information. And 5, the lack of time to be able to go over 3 new curriculums. I literally was learning the information at the same time that I had to dish it out and teach it. Due to the leaders in this environment not providing the support I requested, a hostile environment was created. And when I spoke up about my concerns, that is when the assassination of my character began to birth forth. And I'm going to read you all this email that I sent to my principal. And I expressed to her how overwhelmed I was. And her response was what created the ripple effect to determine that I would no longer be able to continue on in this environment with these students. I knew that I could not go the remainder of the school year knowing that when I state a problem or ask for support, because that's all I was doing, y'all, is asking for support, this is how she responded. Now, these emails are entitled Professional Practices. Okay, so she sent me an email on Friday, October the 24th, around like 12 o'clock. I'm not going to read that email, but I'm going to read to you the email that I responded by saying, and then I'm going to send you the follow-up email that she sent me on Monday in response. So I said, "Great day, Mrs. Principal." You thought I was going to say the name, but I'm not. Per my last email that I sent you, I strongly believe that I have not been given the proper tools to be as successful as I'd hoped for this school year, or as I hope to be this school year, which is unfortunate. The learning curve that I am experiencing is extreme, contributing to unnecessary frustration. With time constraints in the schedule, I barely have time to eat lunch. Planning periods are filled with meetings Planning periods filled with meetings don't grant me the fortitude to take in this new information on top of the data that is being administered at every meeting. Because each meeting is directly after transitioning children to cultural arts, which doesn't allow me the time to take care of personal needs such as using the restroom, etc. In reference to participation, I speak when I have something of validity to express. I have yet to receive what I need to be successful this year, and it is weighing heavily on my mental health. I look forward to promising changes that will aid in the necessary steps that will help to create a better learning environment for myself and my students. I am hopeful that these changes will usher in more positive results. Kind regards, Miss McDaniels. Here's her response, y'all. Now, she sent this on Monday, October the 27th at 7:24 a.m. Thank you for sharing your perspective. I understand that the beginning of the year brought challenges. However, we are now in November. And at this point, all staff are expected to be fully settled into their roles and responsibilities. Our focus must remain on delivering high quality instruction and ensuring that every student receives the support they need to succeed. If I don't have it, how they going to get it? Professional expectations, such as being on time, fully participating in planning and team meetings, collaborating respectively, and maintaining professional behavior are essential components of your role. These are not optional. The behaviors observed recently, including lack of participation and disengagement during team time, must change immediately. Moving forward, I expect punctuality to all meetings and planning sessions, active participation in discussions and collaborative planning, professional demeanor, and a positive engagement with colleagues, preparedness, and focus on teaching and student outcomes. And then after this, she stated that there's two people that would begin to help me on the math curriculum and on the literacy curriculum, excuse me. Now, she said we're now in November, but this again was sent on October 27th. So it was just a couple days before we stepped into November. When I got this email, y'all, I was like, this is not going to work for me because I'm talking about, or I spoke about my mental health and how this is impacting me. And now you want to state that you're going to provide support for me after coming against who I am and my person and my character through talking about let me tell y'all something. I am somebody who participates above and beyond. For some reason, as a melanated being, as a female, as a woman in professional environments, when we get upset or when we are frustrated, we're not allowed to emote. We're not allowed to show our emotions or show how we feel, because the moment we express or change or alter how open we usually are, or when we put up boundaries, when we decide that we're no longer going to take the mess, then things like that, like what was stated in that email, start to arise. And I could foresee, knowing at the end of the school year, we get rated. And I will say that the last two school years that I experienced in this particular environment, my ratings were highly effective. And I could just feel through the tension that I was gaining and all of what was arising, that they were trying to set it up, with the paper trail, with the documentation and the things that were being stated, and attacking my character and trying to force me to sit wherever they were starting to set me up so that at the end of the school year, I would get a rating that was not highly effective. And I could feel that, I could foresee it. And that day I made a decision. So, long story short, I vocalized to my students that I probably wouldn't continue on as their educator for the end of the school year. And that resulted in me being in a meeting where the principal stated or asked the question if I were resigning. And I actually stated, can you put me back in the pool of teachers? I wasn't even trying to resign. I wanted to stay with the school environment, and I was trying to find a way to be creative in the moment, to say, like, this is not working, and if we continue the school year the way that we are now, it's not going to be beneficial for myself or for my students. And it turned into something completely different, and ended in me having to resign from the school environment, the district, completely. Love the music banging in your ear with each episode? Be sure to message Life's Essence directly at life'sessence@protonmail.com for inquiries on how to acquire the dopest music that represents your brand. I'm not sharing this story of mine to be spiteful. I'm not sharing it to be distasteful. I'm sharing it because, as stated before, there's cycles that I experienced in different seasons. And in this one, I took a stand in a way that I had never taken a stand before. I've seen challenges in environments, and I was trying to stay in this environment and actually elevate and excel and step out of the classroom and go into a different position. And we see what was happening in the midst of me desiring to do that. And I want to stand as a woman of integrity, or as the woman of integrity that I am, knowing that there's little girls that look up to me, students that I've had that, whenever they experience challenges in their lives, I don't want them to run away from what they experience. We have to live through it. And that's why I say our goal is for us to create strategies to help other people live through the challenges that they too will have to embrace. Because when you are desiring to experience greater in your life, the challenges will come. And one thing that I want to vocalize is, as a believer, as somebody who has a relationship with the Most High God, you would think that, this would be the naivety. You would think that being a lover of God, that you would not have to endure all of these challenges and all of these obstacles, living righteously. And it hurts to know that when you say, I am sold out, my mind is made up, that these are the things that you have to experience. And it is to test you. You say you have faith. Well, how much do you have faith? If I test you in these areas, will you still, allow me to be your saving grace? Will you still keep me first and foremost in everything that you say and do in your life? And guess what? I have. And this is the result. And so, again, I'm not sharing this to be negative, but it's to create a space where people understand that even when you are desiring to live a fruitful life in live a righteous life, that challenges still arise, and people will try to attack your character. But only what you do, they say, only what you do for Christ will last. You know what I'm saying? And so nothing that is written in paper, other than these little nasty little emails that the principal sent, proves that I am this negative person that they try to paint me out to be. In addition to that, a lot of what happened, we as strong melanated beings, we feel too. And when we are strong, people often forget that there's a softer side to us. But in these environments, we can't always show it. And like I stated before, when we do show it, if we show it in the ways that we do, like creating the boundaries, then our character gets attacked. But I didn't use profanity. I wasn't physically harming myself or students or any, like, there are people who, when you say something to them a certain way, you talk to them sideways and they ready to pop off. That wasn't the case for me. The only thing that I did was stood my ground to say, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to treat me like that. You're not going to tell me that I can't be here, and you didn't prove it through sending me an email to state that I'm not supposed to be on the premises. You're talking about professional practices and you're making things up as you go along. How professional is that? How professional is that? So these episodes are being produced to create a level of healing for me. I already stated how I planted a seed, and this is how I planted a seed, and I'm taking a leap of faith with the actions that I'm making. But for anybody viewing these episodes, I want you to know how valuable you are. You are valuable and worth being valued. And in many of these environments, when you show that you are valuable, sometimes we're misused, sometimes we're abused. And when you state to your abuser that you're no longer going to take their abuse, this is how we are treated sometimes. So we can either make a choice to stay in, like there are some moments or some seasons where you got to go through. So for me, I went through what I had to go through, and I experienced what I had to experience. So I don't want anybody to think, oh, she quit and she gave up. No, I was listening to what God was telling me to do, and I did everything to try to stay in the environment, and the result was what took place. And I will also share with you that the church that I go to, I'm not going to tell y'all what church because I don't want y'all popping up where I'm at being nosy or whatever. But the church that I attend has been talking about you having what you say, has been talking about the levels to success, has been talking about living without offense. And every message that I have experienced listening to and hearing and applying to my life has been confirmation to the experiences that I've been having in this season. So there. Um, so I leave you with this. This is healing for me. I recognize that these challenges exist, and as I elevate and I move forward and I excel in my life, I will no longer allow things into my space that do not serve a proper purpose. And I'm grateful that I endured these seasons because they allowed me to experience and understand all of what I'm capable of doing. I have so many gifts and talents that I've prayed for, and I utilize them to help advance and excel, the environments that I was in, but they did not care in the way that I wish they would have. But it is what it is. And so now I'm utilizing that for the betterment of the kingdom of heaven. So again, I have resigned from the place that I initially worked. I'm in my season of elevation, and I am releasing this. I'm not going to be having no more conversations about what the principal did and what I did and what happened. This is it. So for episode 6, this is what you get. And I leave you with keep creating, keep believing, keep trusting, keep going. I am releasing and I am depositing. So I am releasing into the atmosphere all of what I experienced. And my prayer is that it is a seed planted or deposited in the life and the hearts of somebody else, and that you will be able to take the information and utilize strategies that I used to help you through whatever you're going through. So, what I learned is to recognize my value, recognize my worth. I learned the importance of being bold and standing up for myself. I learned the importance of finding my voice and utilizing it effectively, not in a manner that would make other people feel less than who they are, but just recognizing how to treat people. And there was even a season where I had to look at how I was responding to some of the individuals in the environment. I'm like, all right, God, let me pay attention to this, because you still have me in this environment for a reason. So I want to make sure that the people you're sending to me, whether it's a student or an adult, that I'm responding to them in a way that I am supposed to, according to your will. I pray that this release is palatable for you as the receiver. And I look forward once again to the manifestation of God's manifold blessings. I have decided that I will no longer live below God's level of expectation for my life. And I implore anybody who is listening to this message for you to do the same. Again, you are valuable and you are worth being valued. You are an impact that impacts. And once we recognize our power, then it is important for us to hone in on how we should grow and develop in that area to maximize our greatness and operate accordingly in a way that is going to allow us to go forth and plant the seeds in the land the way that God desires and designs for us to. And that's my take. Hey, y'all, hey. Do these words that part from my lips resonate with you? Our goal is to impact, empower, motivate, and inspire our OBU tribe to take action and implement change in your lives. Wherever you are in your journey, you too have something of value to offer the world. Become a part of our OBU tribe and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit that notification button to get first dibs on the jewels we drop. And remember that you have everything you need to succeed. See yourselves where you want to be and go there.